Hi guys, today I'll be sharing another lesson in assessment in learning. This is Doc Lizelle Rebosquillo, your resource person. Today, I will be sharing about the different types of tests. Before I present to you the different types of tests, let me describe to you what a test is. A test is a measuring tool used by teachers to measure students' learning. With tests, teachers are able to get essential information to make decisions, to improve instruction, and in grading the students. All right, so there are different types of tests, and we can categorize them in different ways. First is according to the principle of test construction. It's either the test is teacher-made or it is standardized. Teacher-made tests are prepared by teachers, while standardized tests are constructed by experts and subject specialists. Another distinction is that teacher-made tests are prepared for a small number of students, generally for a section or a class, while standardized tests are given to so many people that the test makers have been able to determine fairly and accurately how well a typical person of a particular age or grade in school will succeed. Another distinction is that teacher-made tests measure outcomes directly related to classroom-specific objectives and particular class situations, while standardized tests is standardized in terms of its development, administration, scoring, and interpretation. Examples of standardized tests are achievement tests and psychological tests. We can also categorize or classify tests according to the point of reference. Suppose you receive a score of 90% on a math exam in school, though this could be interpreted in both ways: norm referenced and criterion referenced. If the cutoff or the passing score was 80%, you clearly passed, and that is called the criterion reference interpretation. If the average score obtained by the entire class was 75%, then you performed at the top of the class, and this is called the norm reference interpretation. Same test, but we used both interpretations. Now, what if the average score of the class was 95%? Well, that changes your norm reference interpretation. You are now below average, but the criterion reference interpretation does not change. You still pass the exam. To understand the norm reference test, let us understand first the term norm. So in the community, a norm is a set of behavior or conduct followed or displayed by all the members of the community. It could be customs, traditions, practices that people normally do and follow in their community. So in the classroom, the norm is the average performance of the class. Say, for example, there are 60 students who took a 50-item test. And after checking and identifying all the scores, the average score of the class is 33. We can say that those who got above 33 has a performance of an above average, and those who got below 33 are considered below average. In the case of criterion reference test, this is where the student's performance is evaluated with reference to some predetermined criteria. No weight is given to the norm or average performance of the group, but instead, all the decisions, such as pass or fail, are taken with reference to criteria already set in advance. Like for example, in this illustration, in a 50-item test, the teacher set a passing rate of 70%. That means the student must get a minimum score of 35 to be able to pass the test, because lower than 35 is failure. Tests can also be classified according to the mode of administration. When a test is administered upon an individual at a particular time, it is an individual test. But when a test is administered upon a group of individuals at a particular time, it is called group test. Tests can also be classified according to the ability of the student. Speed test, for example, is applicable upon the individuals to know their mental speediness. In this test, the time is limited and all the questions are equal in difficulty level. On the other hand, power test is applicable upon individuals to know their mental power or their ability. Time limit is not present and the individuals are expected to answer the question within as much time as they lie. All the questions of this test are arranged accordingly to difficulty level and discriminating power. We can also categorize tests according to the type of items involved in the test, like for example, essay, short answer, and objective type. In essay type of test, otherwise known as an open-ended test, it measures the student learning which cannot be measured through objective tests. By giving an essay test, the teacher can measure the learner's ability to organize, integrate, and express ideas about the lessons learned. Short answer type of test requires to be written in a shortcut manner regarding a concept. So it is suitable for measuring a wide variety of relatively simple learning outcomes such as the recall of memorized information. And lastly, is the objective type of test wherein the individual is expected to answer the question with the help of a word, a phrase, a number, or a symbol. Example of objective type tests are multiple choice, true or false, matching type, and fill in the blanks. A test can also be classified according to the method of scoring. So if it is assessed or scored by human beings, it is called hand-scored test. But if the tests are scored or assessed by machine like computers, it is called machine-scored tests. And lastly, we can also classify tests according to its nature. Either it's an oral test, or a written test, or a performance test. I hope you learned something from this short video about the types of tests. Bye and God bless.